start with, again, like you said, having those conversations individually, privately, and seeing, what, and some students might not give up any specific reason. Like you said, there's going to be some kids who, like you said, they're just trying to get away with, they're being kids, they're playing video games, whatever it may be. But if we can start really understanding, then like you said, that is kind of setting the stage to be able to move forward and start forming a connection with students. Because, so much of social emotional learning, yes, but so much of student engagement, so much of academic success, so much of growing students emotionally, behaviorally, academically is trust. And if students don't trust us, then they're not going to give us permission to educate them, permission to be welcomed inside their emotional feelings, to be welcomed to share and to kind of guide them through learning, right? And so what role does trust play in this, and how do we start, especially in a digital space? Like, we can talk, and we might have to have a part 2 about, within the classroom.
But yeah, I know where you're going. Like,
but in a digital space, how do we start building that trust that we've been so accustomed to being able to do in person? Now in a digital space, when we don't even see this child face to face, how does trust begin to form here?
I think it forms the same way that you form any relationship with a student. You look for those opportunities to offer up a little bit of yourself and hope that that's reciprocated. It might take a couple times. I got kittens in late November, and I had kids that didn't have their cameras on. And my kittens used to, when they were really little, they used to love to jump up and sit on my desk and sleep on me while I was doing reading group. And so I would, say, let's read to the kittens. And eventually, even without prompting, one of the students just started to turn his camera on, and I think it was almost like he thought he couldn't see the kittens without his camera. It was just funny. Like, he had like this weird correlation with it. But, little things like that, you just in the same way in your classroom, if you hear a student mention their favorite comic book, you want to latch onto that and spend that 1 minute talking to them about it.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
It's just the same way. Like, I was progress monitoring today, which trying to do any type of assessment over Zoom, especially with kids with their cameras off or students that are reluctant to participate, it's a nightmare. You got to get the data because that's what the administration demands of you. But it's like, how do you maintain the dignity and humanity while you're trying to do that? And the student, before I started, said, "Hey, can I show you something for a second?" And my first instinct was like, oh my gosh, no, I've got to get through like 2 other kids. Done, I only have 25 minutes, and like, I can't do,
the pressure.
And I took a deep breath, and I just thought to myself, he doesn't participate very often. If I shut him down right now, what is that saying to him? Is he going to be able to trust me to ask me again? And I took the leap, and I was like, yeah, go ahead, show me. He pulls out, and he's 7, mind you, he's 7 years old. He pulls out this sketchbook and opens the cover, and here is this painting. I wish I could show you. Here's this painting, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, and it was from a 7-year-old. And he was just like, I really love to paint. And then he flips the cover, and here's another one, and here's another one. He's got this scene of like camping out in a field, and he has somehow tried to paint this tent like there's shadows inside of it, like it's illuminated. And he says to me, he's like, some people, they draw before they paint, or they draw out what they're going to do. I just kind of sit and think for a while, and then I just start to paint. And I like to think that maybe I could be an art teacher someday. I turned my camera off because I started to cry, because I thought to myself, like, if I had passed up this opportunity, he would not trust me, but he trusted me with his gift. He trusted me with this really personal thing. And what did it take? 3 minutes? It took 3 minutes for him to know that he could trust me with that. And now I have another avenue to talk with him. Now I can pick books that are about art or famous painters or, just anything along that vein. And so it really just is, keep it simple. We don't have to reinvent a way to build relationships just because it's virtual. It's the same way. You find a way to communicate, nonverbal, verbal, whatever, however you have to do it. You find a way to take those moments and just be a human being with the kids. Something non-academic, something non-threatening, the same thing you would do in the classroom.